Have you ever stopped to think about that distinct sound? You know the one. It's mid-July, the air outside is thick enough to swim in, and you walk through your front door. There's that subtle, low-frequency hum, and suddenly the sweat on your neck starts to evaporate. It's almost like magic.
It is magic, in a way, but it's the kind of magic that relies on thermodynamics, fluid mechanics, and a whole lot of copper wiring. We treat it as a given, right? You flip a switch, the world gets cool. But the reality is, you are essentially fighting a war against nature, specifically against the sun and the ocean, every single day.
That is a dramatic way to put it, a war against the sun. But living where we do, specifically in a coastal climate like Wilmington, it feels accurate. It's not just heat, is it? It's the weight of the air.
Exactly. That's the invisible enemy, humidity. People fixate on the temperature on the thermostat. They see 72 degrees and think that's the goal. But if it's 72 degrees with 80% humidity inside your house, you're going to feel miserable. You're going to feel sticky. My job isn't actually to make things cold. My job is to remove heat and moisture. I'm in the water removal business as much as the cooling business.
The water removal business, I like that. It reframes the whole concept. So when we talk about these systems, HVAC, most people just see the gray box sitting in the side yard. It's the thing we ignore until it breaks. But you look at that box and see something completely different.
I see the lungs of the house. That's the best analogy. If those lungs are congested, or if they're undersized, the house suffocates. And here's the kicker about our specific area. The salt. We are living in a corrosive environment. That sea breeze everyone loves? It's slowly eating metal for breakfast.
That's terrifying and fascinating. It's like the environment is actively trying to reclaim the machinery. So as a business owner in this space, you're not just fixing parts, you're managing decay.
Precisely, and that brings up the biggest misconception I see. People want the cheapest unit or the quickest fix. But in a salt air environment, cheap is just a down payment on a disaster 3 years from now. We have to use different coatings, different materials. It's a constant balance between efficiency and durability. You can have a high-performance race car engine, but if you put it in a boat without rust-proofing, it's going to seize up.
Let's pivot to that race car idea. Efficiency. Everyone is talking about smart homes, green energy, lowering the carbon footprint. How does a traditional trade like HVAC keep up with that? Is it actually changing or is it just marketing fluff?
Oh, that change is massive. It used to be that an air conditioner had 2 speeds, on and off. It was like driving a car where you either floor the gas pedal or slam on the brakes. That's inefficient and uncomfortable. Now, we have inverter technology. It's like cruise control. The system ramps up just enough to maintain the temperature, then idles back. It's constantly learning the heat load of your house.
So the house is reacting in real time?
The house is thinking. Or rather, the system is analyzing. It knows if you're cooking dinner. It knows if the sun just hit the west-facing windows. It adjusts the airflow by fractions of a percent. That's where the comfort comes in. You don't feel a blast of cold air. You just stop feeling hot. It becomes invisible. And that's the paradox of my work. If I do my job perfectly, you forget I exist.
That's a profound thought for a trade, based on success is invisibility. But there's a cost to that, isn't there? If we become so detached from the mechanics of our survival, do we lose respect for what it takes to keep us comfortable?
We absolutely do. We've become intolerant of discomfort. 50 years ago, sweating a little indoors was normal. Now, if it shifts 2 degrees, people panic. But I think there's a deeper layer here. It's about health. We aren't just controlling temperature. We're filtering particulates, viruses, allergens. In a modern, sealed-tight home, the HVAC system is the only thing standing between you and stagnant, toxic air.
It's interesting you mentioned that. We spend 90% of our lives indoors. Essentially, we are living inside a machine that supports our biology.
We are. And that machine requires a human touch to keep running. That's the other side of the business, the labor. You can have the smartest AI thermostat in the world, but it can't braze a copper line or diagnose a refrigerant leak. There's a craftsmanship to it that people overlook. It's high-tech problem-solving with dirty hands.
It sounds like a blend of the old world and the future. You need the grit to work in an attic in August, but the intellect to program a complex computer system.
That's it. And frankly, finding people who can do both is the hardest part of owning the company. We aren't just looking for mechanics anymore. We're looking for technicians who understand physics and software.
Before we wrap up, I want to go back to that idea of the lungs of the house. As we look forward, maybe 10, 20 years, How does this change? Do our homes become biological entities?
I think they have to. We're moving towards systems that don't just react to temperature, but to our biometrics. Imagine a system that detects your body temperature dropping while you sleep and adjusts the room ambiently to match your REM cycle. Or a system that smells a gas leak or high CO2 levels and flushes the air before you even wake up. We are moving from cooling to comprehensive environmental management.
That is both incredibly cool and slightly dystopian, but I suppose that's the price of perfect comfort. We hand over control to the machine.
We do, but consider the alternative, especially here with the humidity and the heat. The alternative is nature taking over your living room. And nature, as beautiful as it is, doesn't care if you're comfortable.
A sobering reminder, we build these bubbles of comfort, but they are fragile. They require constant energy, intelligence, and maintenance to sustain.
Fragile, but essential. Next time you hear that condenser kick on outside, just give a little nod of appreciation. It's doing a lot of heavy lifting, so you don't have to.
I certainly will. It's not just noise, it's the sound of civilization keeping the chaos at bay. A fascinating look into the invisible engine of our lives.
Thanks for having me. Stay cool.
Always. And for everyone listening, take a deep breath and appreciate the machine that made it possible.